Okay, everybody. I am your host, Jeff Haseley, and I'm joined by Dan Turner and Matthew Minnis. And we're going to talk about the World Cup and the final eight. Now that we have the final eight decided, we want to go over who we think is going to move on in advance. So let's get to that. Let's take a look at the updated list of teams here moving on. I guess what we'll do is we'll start off with let's just go to each person and cover what you think is going to happen. We'll start with the Netherlands and Argentina. Dan, what do you think about this matchup? And what do you think happens as a result?
I think this is definitely a top two matchup in the round of eight, probably with England and France. Netherlands look really good, beating the U.S. and then Argentina taking care of Australia. I think it'll be a very close game. I don't expect any kind of blowout to happen. They're both really good teams, but I do think Argentina will squeak it out against Netherlands. It'll be a one-goal game, but they'll win.
Okay. Matt, what do you think about Netherlands and Argentina?
Unfortunately, I was impressed with how the Netherlands looked against the United States, especially going forward.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is going to be a really good matchup. Australia, they had some moments there, but at the end of the day, Argentina has so much talent. And I think this, other than the England-France game, this is probably like top two for me when looking at the quarterfinal matchups. At the end of the day, do like Argentina to go through as well. I'm thinking maybe like 2-1. That would be my early score prediction, or maybe 3. No, I'm gonna stick with 2-1. I'm gonna stick with 2-1.
Well, I mean, so far we've seen, for example, some teams out of the tournament that I thought played pretty well during their match, but then come down to penalty kicks, and it seemed like the better team lost, or the better team failed in terms of penalty kicks, and that's Japan and that's Spain.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you don't necessarily have to be the best team to advance. You just have to be the best team good enough to get a draw at the end and then go down to penalty kicks. I don't know. I have a feeling that we might see that with Netherlands, Argentina, and I think the Netherlands and their 6'8" goalie keeper might be good in the penalty round. So we'll see. All right, Croatia and Brazil. Is anything stopping this team of this powerhouse of Brazil? What do you think, Matt?
They're going to be dancing their way to the semifinals. They make it look so easy, especially like attacking. There's endless amounts of talent coming off the bench. It seems like when somebody goes out, another, superstar comes in. Even with Neymar, if he's not even 100%, I don't see how Croatia can hang. Like you said, I thought Japan, I was rooting for Japan. They look like the better team, and come penalties, shootout, didn't go their way. And I don't think they have the talent. I don't think they have the forwards to keep up with Brazil. I think Brazil will score 3 or 4 goals, and maybe they'll put one across. I'm going to go Brazil. I'm going to go Brazil. Croatia 1.
Interesting. In a game where not very many goals are scored, Brazil definitely does a good job of scoring goals, and that ultimately is most likely what's going to propel them going forward. Dan, I imagine your thoughts are the same. Any other one-liners, anything, stats, good stuff about Brazil here?
No. Matt said hit it on the head. I thought Japan was going to make was going to make it all the way to the semis. That obviously didn't happen, but Brazil just absolutely smoked South Korea. I expect them to do honestly the same to Croatia. I think it'll be 3-1 Brazil.
All right, you guys said 3-1 as well. I think it's going to be like 3-0, or I'm thinking clean sheet here, 3 or 4-0. I mean, the way that Brazil is playing right now is just unstoppable. All right, let's switch over to the other side here. England and France. This is the huge one. Wow, it's shaping up to be, the team that, of course, that moves on doesn't even get a third place match, and I think either one of those might be able to. Put together a performance to beat the third place team. But we're getting quite a matchup here, England and France. You guys know from our talk before that I like France. I like France versus Brazil in the final. So I think France is going to beat England. Anybody have doubts on that? I mean, England, what did they do? 6-2 in their opening Group A stage, right?
Yeah.
And then or Group B, excuse me, and then with 3-0 this past game, kind of makes that U.S. 1-1 draw sound pretty good there, doesn't it? All right, what do we think? Can England hang with France? Let's start with you, Dan.
I think they definitely can. I think they proved it. I really think that 1-1 tie against the U.S. was a little bit of fool's gold. I don't think that England was, giving 100%, which they didn't need to. I mean, they were going to advance either way. And that's something that we also saw with Brazil in the group stage, where they kept it competitive enough where they needed to advance, and then now we see when they need to advance, they can just blow people out. So I think we're seeing like how good England really is. I think this game will go to a shootout. I think it'll be 2-2. I think they're both way too evenly matched. They're both really incredible teams. But I do think that France will win 4-3 in penalty kicks.
Wow, you got it all the way down. I like that call actually, with the goals going back and forth on that, and France over England 4-3 in penalty kicks. Matt, can you beat that, Matt? Can you beat that?
I don't know if I could beat that. I mean, England has not conceded since their opening game against Iran. Like, it's extremely impressive when you look at the fact that, this team defensively has been super strong. And going forward, we'll see. I don't know if you guys saw, like, Raheem Sterling, like somebody broke into his house. So that's why he missed the last game. He had to go back to be with his family. So will he be available? If not, they still have tons of talent attacking, and their midfield's great. But I still like France here. I watched France play, and I think to myself, like, Mbappe is so much better than anybody else that I'm like seeing right now. Like, it's crazy what he does on the pitch, and I think they're going to advance. I like the extra time call. I'm going to say though, France 2, England 1.
Okay. All right. Moving on. Let's talk about Morocco and Portugal. Boy, that Morocco-Spain game was incredible. In fact, I don't know if you guys saw, right before the penalty kicks was decided, there was like 30 seconds left, and Spain had a chance to put that ball in the net, and it wound up just kissing the post there, the far post. Oh, what amazing goal that would have been, and propelled Spain into the quarterfinal. But we didn't get that. And Spain loses on penalty kicks. Morocco looked incredible. Their goalie stopped everything, which was really great to see. You don't see that too often. But Portugal just absolutely destroying Switzerland. They're looking good, and that's without Ronaldo. Gonzalo Ramos is making a name for himself here, and I honestly, coming into the tournament, I was kind of like, this Portugal team's good, but they're not great. They're playing great right now, and they're going to give Morocco a run here. I don't know if this is going to be a 0-0 match like it was Spain, 1-1 maybe, 1-0, 2-0, but I think Portugal advances. Matt, what's your take?
If you'd asked me this question before the Portugal game, I honestly would say I think Morocco's going to advance just because they've looked so good, and taking down Spain, and they played. They were in a tough group too. It wasn't like they came out of an easy group. But Portugal right now, without Ronaldo, it's like they're playing more of a team as they were when he was on the pitch, and they just subbed him on, and I just think to myself, like, this is a team that if everything starts clicking at the right time, I think they could even take down France. They could make a run at it. You saw what they did at the Euros, back in 2016, whatever year that was, and they had the talent to do it. Again, I said this last time, and I'll say it again. I somehow would love to see an Argentina-Portugal final. Like, that would be the greatest thing ever. I think that would be incredible. So I'm going to go Portugal. I'm going to go Portugal 3-1 over Morocco.
Dan, what do you think?
Well, I was the conductor of this Morocco train. I thought they would beat Spain, and I had them going to the semis. But I mean, Portugal is literally destroying Switzerland, which is a really good team. I think Ramos, Felix, and Fernandez is proving that you don't really need a Ronaldo to light the scoreboard up. But I mean, I have to stick on the Morocco train. I think they beat Portugal. I think it's 1-1. And I think that Morocco's goalkeeper, this one goes to penalty kicks as well. And as we've seen, Morocco's goalkeeper nothing gets past him. So I think the same goes, and Morocco beats Portugal on penalty kicks as well.
Wow, Portugal shoots their shot, and they've peaked, is what you're saying. and Morocco is able to knock them off. Well, we shall see. They took out the Spaniards. Could they take out Portugal? Interesting. All right. So now that we have our quarterfinals decided, what's the next step here? Argentina and Netherlands. We'll start with you, Dan. I think you had Argentina, correct?
I did.
Argentina and Brazil. Are we treated to that matchup?
I sure hope so. I mean, that'd be obviously a fantastic, matchup between two elite South American, teams. So, I mean, that would be a real treat to watch, to see Messi go against Neymar. I mean, the star power, you can't get much better than that.
Yeah, right. Matt, are you seeing Argentina, Brazil, or do you think the Netherlands squeaks in?
I'm seeing Argentina, Brazil as well, and I think on both sides of the bracket, we could have two absolutely incredible semifinal matchups. And I'm sure, if there is a Cinderella story like Morocco, that would be awesome. If Croatia or Netherlands advances, fantastic. But if you're like a fan of the World Cup and your team is not in anymore, seeing the likes of Argentina and Brazil and potentially like France and England versus Portugal, not much more you could ask for.
Yeah, now it gets fun. When we watch the March Madness, and we always see like a 6 seed make it to the final 4 or something like that, where it's a little off. Here, I think the best teams are going to advance, because it's all about how you play the game, and you either win if you're a good team, or you lose because you're not as good as the other team. And I think that runs so true in football, should I say?
Right.
But so hopefully, yes, we are treated to Brazil and Argentina and Portugal and France, or even England and Portugal. I think that would be just one heck of a Final Four. Yeah. And I still have France beating Brazil in the final, in my opinion. Dan, what do you think?
I think Argentina beats France in the final.
Okay. Matt?
I think before I said Brazil is going to win it, and I have them beating France in the final. So I'm going to stick with that. Hopefully the next time we record, one of my teams are not eliminated, and I can stick with that. But I'm saying Brazil is going to win it.
You guys think we're going to see low-scoring games here coming up in the next week, or high-scoring? We're starting to see the teams now that can put, a boot on the ball and get it in the net, or is this going to be more defense-oriented? I'm kind of curious on that one.
I think it's going to be offense. I mean, if you think about it, we could potentially have a Final Four with Messi, Neymar, Ronaldo, and Mbappe.
My gosh.
So really, defenses are going to have a tough time stopping any of those guys, and the people that they have around them on these teams, are equally capable of scoring in their own right. So I really think now, with all the pressure mounted where you have to win, you're going to see a lot more scoring going on.
Yep. Matt, what do you think? Scoring or defense?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, there's going to be a lot of really evenly matched teams playing against each other, and some incredible talent on the field. So I could see some 3-2 games, maybe even like 3-3 going into extra time, and then we have penalties or whatever. I think we're in for a treat here.
I like it. Dan, awesome call there of Messi, Neymar, Mbappe, and Ronaldo in the finals. If we could get that, my goodness, holy cow. And then, of course, your complementary players as well, doing their role. Whew, I'm looking forward to it, guys. I'm sure we'll talk again once we're to the Final Four, and then we'll do it again for the final. But thanks, guys, for everyone here for watching and listening. Go to Champions Round, download the app. You can play. We have all kinds of stuff that you can do, so please do that. And guys, we will see you next week when we talk about advancing to the Final Four.
See you guys.
All right, take
Bye.
care.